Guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you can see, this is a very serious video. So on this video I'm going to share with you guys my final university results. Like, it's been a very long year, all the way from September 2019 to December 2020. I've been doing my masters. So finally the result is out. Oh my god, it's been a hell of a year. So it just feels really good that I'm done with this now and I can move on with life. So I don't know if I should sit down, I don't know if I should stay standing, but let's get into the video. Also, you guys, I just realized that I need a wristwatch. Yeah, I've not had a wristwatch in a year now, and I just realized, as a professional that I am wearing suits, I need to have a wristwatch. So yeah, I need a wristwatch. Okay. Hi, I'm Chidera. So I came to the UK to do my master's in crisis and disaster management, which I started September last year and I just finished now. Okay. First off, I have to acknowledge the struggles that I went through, and if you've not seen the video of my struggle in uni, I'll link it up here and you can check it out. This whole year has been a crazy ride, apart from the fact that I was learning in a pandemic and a very uncertain time. Even before then, I had already been struggling with the course because unlike most people in my class, I did not have a background in environmental science, in geology, in geography, which were some of the elements of some of the classes we took, like earthquake, flooding, and all of that. Yeah, it was very difficult for me to understand what was going on in class. A lot of times it just felt like they were speaking Spanish and I'm just there like, what's happening? One thing about me is I have always been a high achiever academically. Like, I have never been one to struggle with academics. Of course, there's the normal struggle with trying to write an assignment, trying to sit down to think, to put my thoughts together, struggling with some subjects. But for me, those were like enjoyable struggle. It's like, yeah, I'm in school to learn. So if I'm not struggling, it means I'm not learning. But then the struggle I had on this course was very, very different. The struggle I had on this course made me to start questioning my intelligence. It's like I started asking myself, oh Chidera, are you as smart as you think, or you just think you're smart? Are you smart? Do you understand? Like, I even started having doubts. I started telling myself, maybe perhaps I'm only good enough for Nigerian universities. Perhaps maybe I'm only good in Nigeria. Here in the UK, I'm not as smart as I think. Do you get? So I went through that whole process, and that's because, like I said, I've always been a high achiever. I'm always topping my class in school, always, like right from primary, nursery, all the way to uni. I'm always like at the top 5% of my class, if I'm not the top. So for me to come here and then I was now in the background, I'm the one that doesn't raise hand in class, I'm the one that doesn't understand what's happening, I'm the one always asking someone else to explain to me what's going on in class. You guys, it was surreal. It was crazy, and I'm just really glad that I was able to see this whole thing to the end. Okay, so another thing that I feel I need to mention is, before we go into the results, is the fact that all my life I had always had this overly competitive spirit. I'll call it a spirit. Even in primary school, I was always competitive. It wasn't about being the top 5. For me, it was being the top of the top 5. Do you understand? Like, it was crazy. I was overly competitive, and that's why in uni, undergrad, I did not have a social life. Like, I struggled. I can tell you right now that the friends I have from my undergrad days are not up to 3. Like, my whole undergrad uni, I did not make up to 3 friends I can say are my friends. Do you understand? I actually evolved from who I was to who I am now, to become this very social person that talks to people, that is free with people that knew me from way back then. They struggle to put the two together. They're like, this is not who you were before. Why are you like this now? It's because I made conscious effort to ensure I have a social life, especially now that I'm studying in the UK. And also, when I was in primary school, if you're in Nigeria, there's something called speech and prize giving day, which is the day we're giving our awards and everything. So I felt that I was going to be the overall best student, because in my school we had several arms of one class. So for example, primary 5 had 5A, 5A, 5B, 5C, 5D, 5E, 5F. There were 6 arms, and in each class there were about 40 something students. Okay, so yeah, when it was time for speech and prize, I thought I was going to be the overall best graduating student. And when they called the name of the person, it was one of my closest friends, and she was the overall best graduating student. And because of how competitive I was, and how I always wanted to be the top. I started crying. Like, I cried so bad. My parents were consoling me. They were like, you did great. Because I was the second best overall graduating student. But I was hurt because if you know Cowbell that year, Cowbell chocolate and Cowbell Milo, they used to go to schools and give things to students. So they sponsored that particular award. She got a brand new bicycle. She got a brand new bag. She got 1 dozen books. She got 1 roll of Cowbell chocolate, 1 roll of Cowbell milk. Like, the gifts were a lot, and I just sat there. I was crying. It's not one of my proudest moments in life, but it was one of the things that set the foundation for how I went about my academics after that. So I went to my teacher. I was crying. I'm like, why am I not the best graduating pupil and everything? And then she showed me our scores. Apparently, so out of 1,000, because there's something called average, out of 1,000, I had like 865, and the overall best graduating pupil, my friend, had 866. So you guys, she won that award because she was higher than me by 1 single mark. And then in that moment, I just told myself, going forward in my academics, I would always want to get 100 over 100. You know how 70, if you get 70, it's an A. If you get 80, it's an A. 90 is an A. 100 is an A. But I told myself I'll always want to get 100. So there's no room for somebody to tell me that because of 1 mark, somebody was higher than me. I'm not proud of this, but I'm saying this is how my mind was operating that time. And so when I went into secondary school, I went in with that same competitive nature. I was always looking out for my marks. When my lecturers would give us our scripts back for our continuous assessment, I will go through, I'll calculate every single thing. If it's 19 over 20, I would check it to be sure it's not 20 over 20. Did they forget to give me a mark somewhere? If it's 18 over 20, I'll check it. Did they forget to add a half mark? Like, I'll calculate everything. And there were a couple of instances where I'll go back to my teachers and I'll be like, excuse me, sir, you put 16. It's supposed to be 16 and a half. And they're like, Gift, because my English name is Gift. They're like, Gift, are you kidding me? You're coming to my office for half mark. And I'm like, yes, sir, please, I need a half mark because it's going to boost my score a little. Like, I was that crazy over scores. I was so keen about my grades, about my scores, because I had seen what 1 mark had cost me, and I'm like, going forward, 1 mark is not going to cost me something else. I'm going to be on top of it. So I carried the same sick mentality into uni, and you all know that in Nigerian universities, you don't go looking for trouble from Nigerian lecturers. Like, you try to stay out of their lane. Me, I was consciously looking for their trouble, okay? So I did the same thing in uni, where they will give us our assessment scores, and then I would check it, I'll calculate it to be sure that they didn't miss 1 mark. I did this thing like 3 times in uni during my undergrad. I'll go to my lecturer and I'll be like, excuse me, sir, you put 14 and a half. It's supposed to be 15 because you forgot to calculate this half mark that was here, here, and here. It was crazy. I was that annoying, and it came to a point where if my lecturer see me in their office, they'll be like, Gifts, not now. Like, no, leave my office. Do you get? Because I was becoming overly, I don't know what to call it. I was becoming so crazy about grades because I did not want to end up not being the overall best graduating student, even in uni. But then as God we have it, it shocked me. Even in university, I was not the best graduating student of my set. Rather, I was the best graduating female. I was the second best graduating student again. So the person that was the best graduating student in my set in 2016, he got 4.93 over 5.0. I had 4.92 over 5.0. So basically, the guy beat me with 0.01. So you can see it was not even 1 mark this time around. It was 0.01. And when I graduated uni, I just told myself that crazy competitive nature has to stop. I need to try and collaborate more with my colleagues, collaborate more with people I'm working with or people I'm learning with. It's not always about competition, okay? So yeah, I just felt I needed to put that out there. So when I started university here, my master's, I told myself, first off, I'm going to go out of my way to be social. I'm going to have friends. I'm going to have a social life. Then the second thing I made a resolve on was, I'm not going to be crazy about my scores, okay? I'm not going to be crazy about it. If I get a 70, like, all I'll be trying to do is just ensure I get an A. And any A, not A. Do you understand? Like, I'm not going to sit here and trying to get 100 over 100. I'm not going to beat myself up for that. Like, I'm gone past that. If I get a 70, I'm glad, as long as it's an A. So my point was, yes, Chidera, we're going to achieve excellence on this course, but we're not going to beat ourselves so much about the particular grade, as long as it's a very good grade, like a good grade, like an A. Any A na A. I think I'm going to put this on the screen so that you guys can see what I'm looking at. So, no, I think I should open my results first. Okay, so so this came in the mail a few days ago, and God, look at a country that works. In Nigeria, do you know till today I don't have my certificates from my university? Like till today, I graduated in 2016, I don't have it. Do you know how many times I have traveled down there to get my certificates? Every time is one story or another. It's just really annoying how the system frustrates you, and I'm talking about Nigeria, okay? So I was surprised when I saw this in my house, and I'm like, wow, my certificate is already here. So this is the moment of truth, guys. Open it. Okay, so the thing is, before we open it, I already have an idea of what I'll get, because obviously I can see my grades for each of my courses. But yeah, so ta-da! Okay, you guys, so yeah, it's a distinction. So it's a distinction, crisis and disaster management distinction. So I'm smart. Let me just like go into the course details. So for my very first course that I did, disasters, hazards, vulnerability, and risks, and each course of mine had 2 different assignments, and they'll do the cumulative of the 2 to give you a grade in that course. So the first assignment I had in that course, that was when I just started, I had 83 in the first assignment. Then by the second assignment, I struggled a lot. This was one of the hardest courses for me. The second assignment was one of the hardest assignments I did I got a 67. So when you do the total of the 2 and divide by 2, I had a 75. So 75 is an A. So I knew I had an A on that course. Okay. Now the next course I did was disaster management techniques and study visits. So the first assignment I had 70. The second one I had 62. When you add that, divide by 2, you get 66. So this particular course, you see this 62 that I had, this was the 62 was the last assignment I had. This is the lowest score that I got on this course. A 62 on an assignment was the lowest. I had been getting 65 or 70, and it's like that was my range. So when I got a 62, I actually emailed my lecturer, and I'm like, I feel like my essay was not properly marked. And then she tried her best to reply me and explain to me, but till today it does not make sense to me, like what happened or how they marked it for me to have gotten a 62. So I wanted to press P, like I wanted to press more into it that they should remark it and everything. But at the same time, I thought about it. I'm like, for God's sake, this is a pandemic. Like everybody's just trying to do what they can. Like they are trying. My lecturers are human beings. Obviously, they are also stressed with the whole pandemic, trying to move everything online, trying to deal with their families. I don't know if their family members are dealing with stuff. Do you get? So I was just like, Chidera, rest, okay? And I knew that I have a problem with, being so keen over marks. I just told myself rest, so I left that. But that was a B in that course. The another course I did, emergency management and planning. First assignment 76. Second assignment was a group work, and I had 74. So if you add that, divide by 2, that's 75. Another course I took is humanitarian emergency response and recovery. First assignment I had a 79. That was an assessment. That was a presentation that we did in groups. So it was another group work that we did. I had a 79, and then the second one I had a 67. So add that, divide by 2, I had a 73. So that's an A. Now the last one, which is my research work, which is the thing that stressed the hell out of me. So the first thing we did was proposal, and proposal I had 76, and then the dissertation itself I had a 72. So when you add that, divide by 2, I had 74, which is an A. One other course I took French, okay, but it was optional. So the French does not count to my total grade. Do you understand? Like it's just a course I did, but it doesn't count towards my degree. So I did French, and the first assignment I had a 65. The second assignment I had a 68. So when you divide that, I had a 67, which is a B. So overall, in my 5 courses that I took, I had 4 A's and 1 B's. So looking at this, I already knew it's likely gonna be distinction. This is how the grading system in the UK works. So I'm going to put it on the screen because I think I've forgotten. But all I know is that 70 and above is an A, okay? Then I think 60 to 69 is a B. And so when I saw that I had gotten A's in 4 courses and a B in 1 course, I knew it was likely going to be a distinction. Although I don't really get the further details of how it was calculated. That is that, okay? So your girl has an MSc, and besides, you guys, please, I'm job hunting, okay? Like for real, for real. I'm job hunting. I'm looking for jobs in disaster management, disaster recovery. So jobs with the UN, jobs with Red Cross, jobs with any organization that has something to do with disaster management, humanitarian response, like stuff like that. Please plug your girl, okay? If you know of any job openings like that, send them my way. You can send them to me on Instagram at thechiderapeters or LinkedIn. I'm going to put my LinkedIn link in the description box below. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Till next time, guys. Bye bye.